So in our last half hour, we met Trent Callicutt, an Asheboro native who recently lived out the dream of playing at the Grand Ole Opry, but it wasn't just his dream. He shared this with his grandfather, and while the grandfather did not live to see the big day, Trent knew he was there when he took the stage. Here's his story. I understand, because I've talked to a few people that actually knew you, and they said you have to ask him about his grandfather's relationship with him. Tell me about that, because that's the beginning of your music, right?
Yeah, well, his name was A.J. Kendrick, and he was a Wesleyan pastor in Asheboro, and he played guitar, and he started when he was about, 6 or 7 years old, and we just, with music, that was our thing together that we did. He had different things with each of my siblings that he kind of, would talk about or do. But for me and him, I mean, we spent so much time together. Once I started actually playing, he actually drove me to my first lesson. And so I would go around to the nursing homes and play with him and his band, the Good Time Band. It was something that I'll always cherish. And had he been living for this when I played, the Grand Ole Opry, it would have just, I don't know that he would have gotten over that. That would have been such a big deal for me to have gotten to do that, and for him to have been here to sing it.
Tell me about your banjo case, because I heard about this.
I got to the Opry dressing room a little bit earlier than everybody else because I was just kind of nervous. And so I got in there and had 2 or 3 pictures of myself and him in the lid of the case. So when you opened it up, that's what you saw. And it was just, I got back there and nobody else was there yet, and I kind of had a moment of reflection, and it felt like, he was there with me, and it was just really special.
Well, we're all proud of you. I'm sure he is too, and he's watching, so we're all proud of what you're doing, man. You're representing the Triad. Thanks for taking time to chat with me today.
I love that.
I do too, and I love the fact that he was willing to kind of open up and chat with us a little bit about this. He said his grandfather, that was the beginning of his music, and he said with my brothers and his sister, he said my grandparents had something with each of us that was special and individual, and he said for me and my grandfather it was music.
Wow. And
so he still, and that's not his full-time, that's amazing that he's not a full-time musician, but he's played the Grand Ole Opry twice already.
And I bet having those pictures of his grandfather serves as motivation and kind of just a purpose just before every performance to look at those pictures and like, I'm doing this for you, Granddad. So.
And such a neat moment it must have been he said he got to the Grand Ole Opry early because he was nervous, and opened up his banjo case and saw the pictures of his grandfather, and really just allowed himself to reflect on his journey to where he got, and that his grandfather was there with him.
Absolutely. That was a settling moment, I think, for him, because he said it just basically took his nerves away, and he said, I got to do this for him. Or with him in that case, yeah.
It's going to be a matter of time before this is his full-time job, right?
That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's great.
When you get called twice to play the Grand Ole Opry, you're doing something right, that's for sure.